Do you guys see that? What is that? That thing? Oh God, they're everywhere. Ugh. Oh. Okay. I think we're good. I think we lost him. We should be fine now. Ah! Quick! To the only place where they can't find us. We have to move quick. I hope I meet you there safely. Huh. You know, the weather's actually pretty nice here. I actually kind of like it here. All right. Now that we're in a secure location, we need to have a chat. A few days ago, Goichi, widely regarded as the best Dragon Ball FighterZ player in the world, released a tier list. And then, DBFZ Twitter was promptly set on fire. I'm telling you, everyone is freaking out. Tier lists are everywhere, and cap levels are on the rise. It's pandemonium. There's too much going on. It feels like I can't go 30 minutes without running into a new tier list. And the more tier lists, the more cap. The more cap, the more people have to share their own opinions. The more tier lists we have, more cap rises again. And we can't escape. This is how 2020 ends. There's not an offline tournament in sight. Venture Brothers was canceled, and now we're all just drowning in a sea of cap. I need to stop yelling. I'm gonna hurt my voice. Okay, so you might be wondering, what exactly is cap? I don't know if I can explain what cap really means properly, because I think it means something a little bit different to each person. But no matter how you look at it, it's usually used with a sense of like something being ludicrous, something being a little bit outrageous. What you're saying can't be serious. You can't seriously believe what you're telling people. You must be making this up. Or you've lost your marbles. There's no way pineapple is a better fruit than strawberries. You're off your rocker, dude. There's no way. But yeah, if someone is capping, as the kids say, then they've either intentionally put something crazy on their tier list that is wrong so they could get some more clicks, or they have a pretty unpopular opinion and they're just wrong. However you want to look at it, all I know is that cap is everywhere. It doesn't matter what tier list you post, something is cap. Something's cap about it. Ultra Instinct Goku is not better than Z Broly. And how is Videl above Goku Black? I don't care how many damage buffs she got. There is no way that she could be better than any character in the game if she doesn't have a reflect. Because in 2020, we need a reflect to push all of our problems away. There's gonna be an opinion on every tier list that is an unpopular opinion. No matter what. Even if you put all the top tiers that everyone agrees with on there, and even if you tell people that the top tier is unordered, they'll still be like, why is Teen Gohan above Kid Buu? Kid Buu is better than Teen Gohan. Have you seen Kid Buu? There's no way. And like, dude, it's fine. It's fine. It's unordered. It's unordered. But that, my friend, what you've just done there, you've checkmated yourself. You cannot make a tier list and say that any of those tiers are unordered. Because if you do, you are going to get hit with the, well, if it's unordered, why make a tier list in the first place? And all you can say to that is, and at that point, you've already lost. I'm sorry. Okay, so I think this video is a little too dramatic for what I'm going for. So let's get a little bit more serious with this. What are we here to talk about? I said we wanted to have a real chat, and I really do mean it. Goichi released a tier list, and the reason I'm talking about everyone's reactions to it is because there were a lot of reactions to it. So yeah, Goichi released a tier list, and there are a handful of notable things on it that a lot of people are talking about. Ginyu, top tier. Bardock, not top tier. Teen Gohan, though, best character in the game. That's pretty spicy. And another thing, there's no A tier on this list. No matter where you look, you're gonna find something on here that could pique your interest and be a talking point, and I think that's why so many people are talking about it. But there seriously are a lot of people saying that Goichi is capping. So many of the responses, whether it's a response or a quote retweet, whatever, it's just cap. Goichi's capping. Goichi capping. GO1, that GO1 guy, Goichi, he's capping. There's no way. There's no way this is a realist. No way he's serious. I actually don't think he is capping. I think this is a serious list. I do think these are Goichi's actual opinions on the game. I just think that they are probably only from his perspective. We're going to talk about that in a little bit because I do have a lot to say about this list. We are going to get to that, but there's one thing I want to get to first. The insane number of tier lists that have popped up as a result. Tier lists for everything this year have been incredibly common. Cereal tier lists, fast food tier lists, and of course, tons of fighting game tier lists. Fighting game tier lists have been everywhere for quite a while now, but I think this Goichi tier list caused some kind of explosion, and tier lists are on the rise, I'm telling you. Anyone who invested in tier lists 6 months ago by now has 3 Teslas, a beach house, and controlling share of Capsule Corp. The only people who made more money than these guys are the people who invested in Zoom stock right before the epidemic. So why all the tier lists in response to Goichi's? Well, if everyone thought that Goichi's tier list was cap, and everyone's talking about tier lists now, then there's really no better time to share your opinions, right? And honestly, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But I can't really explain the primal need to share a tier list. I'm pretty sure tier lists have always existed, all the way back to the Stone Ages. Stick better than rock. Rock can't poke. Rock doesn't roll straight, stick roll straight. This give idea. Thing move like stick. Roll like stick, but taller and thinner. Wheel. S tier. But then in the 3.0 patch, wheels are just completely obsolete. Bottom tier, trash. Why would you use this? I feel like I keep getting off topic. Oh right, Goichi's tier list. Let's talk about that. But first, my Twitch chat a while back asked me to make this shirt because it was something I said offhand during a stream that just came across as perfect accidental wisdom. Combos are temporary, fundamentals are forever. This is actually something I do very much believe in. I'm pretty sure at the time a viewer was asking something along the lines of, how do you deal with updates? How do you deal with when a character gets nerfed? I always feel like I'm starting back at square one. And I was just trying to make the point that things like combos, things like your character's unique mix-ups, things that are character specific and version specific aren't going to be there forever. But if you focus on building your strengths as a player instead of your strengths with a specific character, then those are skills that are going to last you forever, regardless of what game, character, or version you happen to be playing. I want to give an enormous thank you to my good friend Walking Melons, who actually designed this shirt and did all the work for it. I think she did an amazing job. If you're interested in anything else she's done, she has an amazing channel on YouTube where she has speed drawings, tutorials, you name it. Oh yeah, and the shirt is available if you want it. Stream chat, this is for you. It's gonna be somewhere down there below the video if you're interested. All right, back to the Goichi tier list. It's cap, right? Well, I don't think so. I actually really do think this tier list is him making a serious, honest attempt at telling people what his thoughts of the game are. This tier list really does make a lot more sense if you pretend that you're him for a minute. Remember, Goichi's the guy whose defense is so good that he affects games in ways that people don't even notice at first. People panic spark against Goichi because they know his defense is so good that if they don't have a full team, they will never open him up for the rest of the match. At least that's what it feels like. Imagine what it's like living with that superpower, where once someone's carefully crafted team falls apart just a little bit, they can't open you up anymore. That's what it's like to defend as Goichi, or at least that's the impression that we get when we watch him. So if you look at this tier list again through his eyes, with the confidence that you can defend against most things that are reactable, then yeah, a lot of the questionable cap decisions make a lot more sense. Ginyu, top tier. Think about it, if Goichi body swaps somebody, that's as good as a touch of death combo for him, because now they don't have the same team they started with, and good luck opening him up. And right now, there are a lot of practical, really strong examples of how to body swap with Ginyu, even if Ginyu isn't your point character to begin with. For the average person, that doesn't really mean that much, but for Goichi, that's a big deal. So a lot of the characters that are in top tier have a lot of really good mix-up, and a lot of other characters that are either high tier or top tier have really good options that let him react to a lot of the things that happen in the game. Ultra Instinct Goku, for example, has more unique ways to react to more things than probably any other character in the game. He has so many tools to react to things with. He has an invincible reversal, another invincible reversal, another invincible reversal, and then supers on top of that. He has counters on the ground and in the air, and he has meterless and metered options as well. All this in addition to just being a good character with good neutral and pretty decent mix-up to boot. Of course, a person with an understanding of defense as good as his, and reactions like his, are going to value a character with Ultra Instinct Goku's toolkit quite a bit. I can't say if it's his favorite character in the game, but of course he's going to think that sort of thing is strong. Same sort of thing for a character like Cooler. Invincible reversal on the ground, invincible reversal in the air, and his down forward heavy is able to react to a bunch of stuff like projectiles and assists. I'm not Goichi. I can't speak for him, and I don't know exactly what's going on in his head. But when I look at this and I think about what he excels at as a player, I don't think anything in this list comes across as insincere. I think he does honestly mean it when he says that Jiren is only one tier list below the top tiers, because his reactions are really good, and Jiren has a lot of tools to react to a lot of stuff. By the way, I don't love the idea of tier lists personally, because it's so counter to everything I try to do on this channel. I want to give you the information to play whatever characters you want and be able to build a team around them so that you can be successful. And unfortunately, there are a lot of people out there who will take a tier list that they see from someone who they respect, and they will take it as the absolute fact. And if your favorite person tells you that your favorite character is either bottom tier or only mid tier, and that makes you feel like you can't play them competitively, then that sucks. Also, tier lists are pretty much just pictures. They can't tell you everything. There are a lot of tier lists out there that come with explanations for things like, why is this character ranked top tier? What do I think are the weaknesses of some of these bottom tier characters, and can they still succeed if you can get around them? A lot of tier lists do go into those kinds of explanations, but usually those are like in the responses below. But a lot of people don't bother to look at that for one reason or another. They'll just look at the picture and take it as fact, and maybe get discouraged or maybe get the wrong idea. This is also why I don't like a lot of statements that are commonly thrown around like this or that character has no mix, because that doesn't tell you the whole story. Most of the time when a top player says that a character has no mix, what they actually mean is that that character does not have a 50-50. Technically, all the mix that we know of with that character is reactable, but maybe there's enough of it where if you get creative and overwhelm your opponent with too many options, then they can't look for everything. That doesn't sound so bad, does it? Not having 50-50s is actually reasonably common in Dragon Ball FighterZ. Not every character has them, but pretty much every character has some tool designed to open you up, in addition to all the universal stuff. But maybe a lot of developing players who aren't super comfortable with the game and are looking to top players for advice see that no mix, and they take it as this character literally cannot open up another player, no matter what. And that's just not true. There isn't a single character in the game that can never open up someone, even Goichi. It's not easy, and that's why some of these characters that don't have traditional 50-50s are down here. But it can happen. And you gotta remember that most people aren't able to defend like Goichi. In fact, I can think of like 5 people on the planet who come close, and discouraging someone who's probably never going to take the game seriously enough to get to that point anyway from picking the character that they want kind of sucks, which is why I don't like contributing to this whole tier list discussion and why I try to choose my words very carefully. I don't want anyone to get the wrong idea. Also, if someone thinks that a character literally can't open you up, then they're not going to take that character seriously, and when they do fight someone who is pretty good with the character, they're going to get bodied. I thought Gogeta had no mix, and now I'm in a dumpster. Okay, back to tier lists. Even though I was just talking about how I think they can be used irresponsibly, I still find them fascinating. I really do like looking at top players' tier lists from their perspective and learning why they value certain things more or less than other players. Some players will value easy-to-use, simple tools above other things, even if the potential isn't as high, because they know how important it is to be consistent in a high-pressure situation like a tournament, which is what they're interested in as competitive players. And some players tend to lean towards the idea that if it can be done, then it will be done in tournament too. Even if it's difficult, as long as it's possible, then someone can learn it and someone can do it in a tournament. I actually think Sonicfox is a really good example of this. Someone who values consistent tools to react to things like Super Dash with are going to want something like an Air Dragon Punch or an Air Level 3, or maybe something like Piccolo's Jump Light to snipe Super Dashes with. You could technically do it with other characters who have really stubby jump lights, but it's hard and inconsistent, and that's not going to happen in a tournament, right? But if you watch EVO 2019 Top 8, you will see a ton of high-pressure situations that Sonicfox turned around by jabbing a Super Dash with Jump Light. I cannot stress how difficult that is to do consistently with a stubby Jump Light. It's really tough, but they got it pretty much every single time they tried. So it might stand to reason that Sonicfox might not value tools the same way that some other characters do, because what they think they can accomplish consistently is probably different than what you or I think we can. Sonicfox is no stranger to posting tier lists either, and just like Goichi, they receive a lot of cap responses to pretty much every tier list they put out. But I love watching them argue a lot of their placements on these tier lists because their responses just fit them so well. Someone might ask something like, why do you value that tool so much? Even though it's really difficult to convert if the opponent gets hit in a weird X or Y way. And then they'll just respond with, yeah, but I'm OD, so I'll convert it anyway. If it's a problem that they can overcome as a player, then it's not really a problem for their tier lists. And I think you just kind of have to respect that. So what I will say about all this tier list business is, don't take any of them as the de facto only true, correct God tier list of the game. There isn't one single correct tier list, because not every tier list is for every person. Some tier lists only look at offline perspective. Like if we were playing in a perfect offline situation, this character is ranked higher or lower because this or that tool is or isn't reactable, or this or that combo is or isn't consistent. And some tier lists seem to be personalized for what certain people value in the game. Some take ease of use into account, so they'll put Bardock or Ultra Instinct Goku super high. Or maybe some tier lists will say, even though this character is really hard to play and nothing they have seems practical in a real tournament setting, the potential is there, so we're putting them at top tier, because we really believe in the potential. Every tier list is different, take them all with a grain of salt, try to understand them from the other person's perspective, and don't take them all as fact. You don't have to agree with everything, look at their spicy takes, learn something from it, and then come to your own conclusions about the game. But yeah, tier lists are fun. Even I find them fun, and I'm not a big fan of them. If I wasn't in the position I'm in, you best believe I'd be churning out tier lists like butter. The world needs to know my spicy takes. Krillin, S tier. Piccolo, A tier. Cell, B tier. But yeah, to wrap up, tier lists are fun. I get it. Tier lists are the only thing cooler right now than the other side of the pillow. So have fun with it. Don't take them too seriously. And remember that not everything is cap. Ask questions if you disagree with somebody. It's totally fine to disagree with them too. And besides, getting some fresh perspective from other people that you might not necessarily agree with is a really good way to find completely new avenues to improve in a lot of these fighting games. I always got to get on my soapbox at least once in these videos, so sorry about that. I've never really done anything like this before, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you can't tell, I bought a green screen. I figured it'd be fun. If you're interested in learning and improving at playing Dragon Ball FighterZ, I highly recommend checking out all the other videos I have on the channel. We have a ton of awesome learning resources here, and we've been trying to cover all of the really big changes in the 3.5 patch. So we've covered characters like Gogeta, Blue Geta, Piccolo, Tien, and Jiren. So if any of that interests you, please consider subscribing to the channel, or head on over to my Twitch if you are interested in asking a question the next time I go live. Thanks so much for watching. There's more on the way soon. His name is Rolex. He was a birthday present, and he's a great shark.